The overuse of pesticides combined with their indiscriminate application over the course of the past 4 decades has led to a number of unfavorable outcomes, the most notable of which are the infamous 3 Rs, which are known as resurgence, resistance, and dual aspects. The use of a pesticide with a broad spectrum to control a specific insect can lead to that bug's subsequent resurgence. Most of the time, broad-spectrum pesticides kill all arthropods, so they kill not only the pest they are meant to kill, but also any beneficial arthropods. The term supervised insect control was coined by entomologists working in California not long after the end of World War II, around the time that synthetic insecticides were becoming more readily available. At around the same time, there was a movement afoot in the Cotton Belt region of the United States led by entomologists who advocated for a method that was very similar. In this approach to pest control, the management of insects was overseen by trained entomologists, and the use of insecticides was guided by the findings that were gleaned from regular population counts of both the targeted insects and their natural predators. This was considered an alternative to pesticide programs that were time-based on the calendar. Supervision was based on a good understanding of the ecosystem and an analysis of how the number of harmful organisms and natural predators was likely to change over time. The term integrated control was developed in the 1950s by entomologists at the University of California, and a significant portion of its intellectual foundation was provided by supervised control. The goal of integrated pest management is to determine which combination of chemical and biological pesticides will be most effective against a particular insect pest. It was required that chemical insecticides be applied in a manner that did not compromise the efficacy of biological control. Stern et al., 1959. Therefore, the phrase compatible became synonymous with the term integrated. Chemical controls were only to be used if regular monitoring showed that a pest population had crossed an economic threshold that required treatment to stop the population from reaching an economic injury level that would cause more economic damage than the cost of the chemical controls. IPM broadened the application of the idea of integrated pest management to cover all categories of pests and increased its scope beyond the traditional categories of chemical and biological controls. It was decided that artificial controls, like pesticides, would be used in the same manner as integrated pest management, but these controls now had to be compatible with management strategies for all types of pests. IPM now also employs a variety of other strategies, including host plant resistance and cultural manipulations, as part of its arsenal of weapons. IPM included a multidisciplinary component by requiring the participation of experts in the fields of nematology, plant pathology, entomology, and weed science. IPM became official government policy in the United States in February 1972, when President Richard Nixon issued a directive to federal agencies instructing them to take measures to advance the concept and application of IPM in all relevant sectors. This was the beginning of the Integrated Pest Management, IPM, movement. In 1979, President Jimmy Carter put together an interagency IPM coordinating committee to make sure that IPM practices would continue to be developed and used. In 1967, at a conference held in Rome, Italy, and sponsored by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, the IPM idea was formally outlined and defined for the first time, FAO, 1967. The concept of integrated control, Smith and Bosch, 1967, which had previously been restricted to the combination of chemical and biological control methods, McKeel-Baker and Bacon, 1952, was significantly expanded during that symposium and redefined to become synonymous with what we currently consider to be IPM. Therefore, the idea of integration may be traced back to foundations that were laid in the United States of America. Concurrently, however, the idea of pest management, which had been proposed by Australian ecologists in 1961, Geyer and Clark 1961, started receiving greater recognition in the United States of America. The impetus for this recognition was provided by a report by the United States National Academy of Sciences and the proceedings of a conference that was held in North Carolina. At this conference, the original proponents of pest management from Australia participated. When the ideas of integrated control and pest management came together, it was the start of a new era for protecting crops. This was done through the creation of integrated pest management.